Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattle Tales from the Vector. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. This is a collective, excuse me, I got the hiccups. This is a collective or general reading, meaning that parts may or may not resonate with you. Just take what works for you, leave the rest. This is also a timely reading. So if it's been a while, if you're watching it at this time, it's the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then, that might give you further clarity as to your situation now. We're going to begin with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck. And we have, let's see, Judgment is coming in. All right, so Judgment is coming from the spiritual realm down to the physical. So this represents the ancestors are so pleased with this. They're climbing out of their boxes and cheering the judgment on. We have the descendants waving across the water here, and this is basically representing the emotional veil separating our loved ones from us when they've crossed the veil. And the trumpet is blowing, and they're excited because perhaps this is some unfinished business from your ancestors, that wasn't taken care of before they left the planet, basically, or left the third 3D space. And so this is sometimes also talking about skeletons coming out of the closet kind of energy, as well as it could be opening Pandora's box. We don't know what's going to happen now that this judgment is coming in, but we will see here. We have the energy of temperance. So temperance is being patient and waiting, being on your destined path, and having the ability to control your emotions so that you're able to remain in a calm state as you patiently pour your energy into your projects, etc. This is talking about having the patience to stay on your destined path. That's represented by the sun here. This is the path of glory. And look at this person has this is sometimes people believe this card is representing an earth angel. In the Bible, it talks about God sending down 144,000 angels to the planet and to be able to bring more beautiful energy onto the earth. And so they're angels in human form. And so this is talking about she has her right foot in the universal waters. So she's adding her own special alchemy to the universe, and she's grounding that onto the earth. And you can see just where her foot is touching here, she is growing beautiful flowers already. So this is an energy of getting on the path and just moving forward. So this is saying just get on your path. That's the most important thing you can do. And then we have the Magician. So when the Fool begins his journey, he begins his journey at the 0 point. And then the next card in the Major Arcana is the Magician. So the Magician is representing that while you're on your journey, if you're starting a new cycle, this is representing that you can bring, your thoughts and the energy from above from the heavens down to the earth. And this is talking as above, so below. This is an energy of creating a beautiful garden with your infinite potential to the power of infinity and beyond. You have the tools that you need. They're all on the bench laid out here. And he does have an Ouroboros around his waist, which it's a line, it's a snake biting its tail. And this is about not getting caught in the same old loop, giving that warning. And, what do snakes do? They shed their skin. And it just so happens that we were, on February 17th, we moved out of the energy of the year of the snake. And on the 17th was the first day of the Chinese New Year for 2026, and that energy we've moved into the year of the fiery horse energy. All right, so we have the King of Swords coming in. The King of Swords is sitting on his throne, and his element here is the sword. Swords represent the element of air, your thoughts, and your words, the words you use both in written and in verbal form. And you bringing your thoughts into matter onto the planet. And this is talking about the king of Swords would represent someone who is a professional, someone that uses his words to earn his living. This could represent the energy of a politician. If he's a politician, he's high up there. He might even be the president or the prime minister of a country, or even an actual live king. That kind of energy. He could be in the Senate or the Congress. Like, it's someone that's high up, though, that has authority, that has a position of authority. And politicians use their words to be able to make speeches, etc. This could also be the energy of an influencer on social media. And also, what else? We have the legal system. So this could represent a judge, a head prosecutor. This could represent the chief of police. That kind of energy. Anything in the legal force. If this is a lawyer, it would be someone who's a partner in a larger, really successful firm, because they're at the top of their game. Same with I think I did mention already, they had prosecutor. This could represent an author who's sold a best-selling book. It can represent a surgeon who is well known for his expertise or her expertise. Remember, all the characters in tarot are archetypes. So this energy of the king could be a female in her masculine energy, as well as a male in their masculine energy. Vice versa for the temperance angel. This is a woman here, but this could be a man in his feminine energy. And so as well. So we have this energy of the King of Swords. The thing about the King of Swords is he does understand that the sword that he is wielding is a double-edged sword. Your words have the potential to either uplift people, or they can be used as weapons. The energy of the words also is, the power of words, and he's very charming and able to use words in a very strong way. And it's talking about, he understands that talk is cheap and actions speak louder than words. So you have to match your action to your words, basically. We have the Emperor coming in. So the Emperor is a very successful individual, and he is someone who is all about performance. He's all four kings wrapped into one person. And so that means he has the qualities of all four of the kings in the minor arcana. That's why he's such a high performance level. He is very wise, just like the King of Swords. He embodies that energy, plus the energy of the King of Cups, the King of Wands, and the King of Pentacles. And so we'll see sometimes when the energy comes in where we have a king and then we have an emperor, sometimes this is representing the same person who is working towards stepping into an emperor role. The way you become an emperor in the tarot energy, some people might be born an emperor, but it's a very small percentage of us out there. So this is more talking about the life experience and, staying on your path and everything that you've learned. All your accomplishments, that they add up so that you have the quality and the energy of an emperor. And so we'll see as we go in this reading whether this is the same person or not. It could be. And then we have the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles is representing an ability to multitask at a very high level. This is a really good skill set to have. This card just says, make sure though that you're not so busy and multitasking at such a high level that you have more quantity than you have quality, because then you might have to redo your work and then you're actually taking longer to do what you need to do instead of shorter amount of time. This is also talking about someone who's having to do a lot of juggling or is busy juggling. Like, it could represent maybe going to school and then going to work to pay for school. It could be representing the energy of, working really hard and then wanting to play really hard. It's the balance between extremes. And what these waves in the background, you notice they're getting bigger and the ship is getting bigger as they go. This is talking about how shift can gain momentum. So you don't want to be so busy that you end up producing more quantity than quality. And this also says, more juggle your options, but never juggle your morals. And then we have the energy of the Seven of Cups coming in. And so the Seven of Cups represents a lot of opportunities coming in. These are a gift from the universe. There's 7 cups here. This is a lot of choices that you have to make, and you are like a black hole sucking in all this opportunity. Each of these cups has a different gift, and quite often, like, these gifts will be presented as challenges, because more often than not, possibilities are hidden in challenges, and the universe likes us to take action. So this is saying, just like a black hole, you have to be the center of your universe and spin this energy in a way that it is perfect for you. And so choosing which cup in which order, and how much energy you want to put into each cup, or whether you even want to take all of the cups or you just want one, whatever that is, that's up to you. These are destined for you. So this is about your choice and how the special spin that you're going to put on this. And then we have the Page of Wands. And so the Page of Wands is representing youthful energy, like being in that feeling of really having a lot of passion for life, really enthusiastic, really a really positive energy. Someone who feels like he's got a feather in his cap. He's really interested in the world, and that's what the pyramids here represent, his desire to explore the world and explore knowledge for the sake of it. His element is the element of fire, and this is his wand, and his wand is made of wood, and it represents having a lot of passion for what you're doing. It also represents the it's from the tree, and so wood feeds fire basically. But the energy is talking about the tree has very deep roots, just like our ancestors do, and also the ancestors here. And then also we have the descendants that are across here are the offshoots. Now the thing about the pages is they used to work, generally around the age of 7 to 14, they would begin working for the court, for the king and queen. And they would generally come from families around the area that were more high society, well educated. And they would be basically apprenticing to grow up to be, working for the king and the queen. And they would start off with very small tasks and deliver communication within the palace walls. And then, by the time they were 21, if they were able to purchase a horse, they might be considered for knighthood if they're qualified. And so this energy is talking about communication coming in. The knights would run communication for the kings and the queens and the rest of the court. And in those days they only had the ability to, that was their only way of doing long distance communication. So it could take quite a while by the time the knight made it to the other kingdom, delivered the message, then waited for the answer, delivered that, you had to go all the way back to deliver the message. These days, of course, we have such, we can have communication in an instant. And so this energy is talking about, it could be some communication coming in person, but it's also likely to be a letter in the mail or a phone call, a text message. It could be something, a message that you see on social media, someone messages you there, or perhaps they're advertising an event and you choose to go to it, run into someone and they have exactly what you wanted to, the information that you need. This can also represent if you watch the news even for a few minutes a day. You don't want to watch it too long because it can get kind of depressing, actually. There's a lot going on in the news these days. And so the news can sometimes, what's happening at the top, as above, so below, just as the magician says. So whatever's happening at the top is also happening in the middle and at the bottom here. I'm building a pyramid, and so this bottom line here is talking about the tools that you have to be able to move forward and the energy that you're in. So there seems like there's some sort of judgment being called. I mean, this could represent the judgment that's happening at the top here. There's a lot of judgment. If you're watching the news, you know what I mean. There's a lot of judgment coming through on the world right now. And it's a lot of energy. Like there's a lot of new energy. There's, we have, a war going on that we didn't have last, I think it's been 10 days now or something. And this is important to recognize that at this time, as I'm doing this reading, Mercury is in retrograde, and so Mercury, when it's in retrograde, Mercury is in charge of communication. And so when Mercury goes retrograde, it just means that from the point of view of the Earth, it appears to be moving backwards. And it's infamous for causing problems in communication, like in general and all over and technology breaking down, systems breaking down, that kind of energy. And so, with all the AI out there, and with 3 million files having been, dumped into the into the collective energy, there's a lot of false information out there, and the AI is becoming very, very, it's getting better all the time. And so you have to be really cognizant of making sure that the information that you have is actually, research and make sure that it is proper information, that it's not misinformation. And then this is talking about, okay, these are the tools. You have a lot to work with. You're on your destined path. You have an energetic upgrade. You're a magician. You can bring the magic down to earth. You have the skill set of the king and the emperor, the king of swords and the emperor, and you're able to multitask. And also you have all these opportunities coming in and the enthusiasm to carry it out. Now this judgment, whatever this is, we'll see what this is about. Okay, so now we have a situation here where we're seeing these are the obstacles that you're going to face here. And so this is talking about, the Four of Cups talks about, the cups generally mean something like someone, they can quite often represent romantic love, but they can also represent something you love to do or something you love to be. They can also represent, the love that you have for other people than your romantic partner. So this is saying, with this energy, a lot of times this talks about disappointment in love. And so it could talk about a disappointment that you have in your business world with a partner or something like that. But quite often this will be about romantic love. And so this energy here can represent like 3 different relationships that you've had or that you have right now that you're really disappointed in. It could also, and the universe is saying, hey, here's another cup. Give it another go. And this person is like, no way, I'm not coming out from underneath this tree. I don't want anything to do with the same old shift. If this is going to be more of this, I'm not interested. I would rather go without love than go through what I've gone through here. And so this can represent an energy of also someone that maybe you have given 3 chances to, and they're trying to say, give me one more chance. And you're like, no way, 3 strikes, you're out. I'm done. I'm not going to give you another chance in my life. I've already been disappointed enough. And in a romantic relationship, this can talk about having, a third-party involvement in your relationship. And sometimes it can even go so far as that third-party involvement causing a baby to be coming in. So this is another cup of love. There's nothing more beautiful than a baby coming in. That's the ultimate gift you can get from God. Having said that, when it's not yours, it's not as special. To you anyway. And so that's the energy. There's a lot of options that this could be. If it's romantic, it has that that tone to it. And it could also, we don't see a whole lot of energy what this is about as of yet, but it'll become more obvious. Okay, so we have a soulmate energy coming in. And so this is talking about, the universe is saying, no, this time this is going to be different. I'm sending you a soulmate. And so soulmate energy can be a romantic partner, but it also doesn't have to be. I think a lot of times it is a romantic partner because God knows that makes it, and with this passion here, I think, God knows that if we have a romantic partner that's also someone that is our soulmate, that it's going to be way more passionate and interesting for us. But as I said, it doesn't have to be. This card represents also your higher self network, what I call HSN, the higher self network, which is very similar to the internet, being able to communicate without actually having the person in the same place as you are. And the difference though is if you're on HSN, you are on the higher self network 24/7. And even if you don't know you're on it, you're on it. And so this is different from when you actually get on, and log into a browser to be on the internet. And also, this is the Hermes symbol. It's about healing. And it's also about communication because it's ruled by Mercury. And remember, we have Mercury in retrograde right now. But this is talking about having your masculine and your feminine energies in balance. And so when you meet up with your soulmate, this is a soul agreement. And so it's something that you want to keep your soul happy as well as your physical body. And this is talking about having that balance between your masculine and feminine and coming together with someone who also has a good balance between their masculine and feminine. So it's not a matter of needing someone in your life or leaning on their energy. It's about being able to come together. And in that case, 1 + 1 = infinity, infinite potential. We have the Hangman coming in here. And this is saying, again, what I was talking about before, making sure your energy is balanced here, and also that the communication that's coming in, that you are getting the true information. So that's what the Hangman's doing. He's hanging from the tree of knowledge, and he's waiting to, he's hanging upside down so that he can get a really good, another different perception of what's going on. And so hanging upside down, it's going to be very different. When he feels that he has all the information that he needs, that's when he comes down from the tree of knowledge and he puts whatever he has learned into action. And so that is a really good attitude to have at this time. We do have, this is the official marriage card. So it could be that you decide, okay, I'll accept this offer from the universe and from God. I'll trust your judgment if I don't trust mine. Sometimes that's a better idea. Love is blind, right? So this is talking about the beginning of like that ultimate fulfillment. This is like a huge accomplishment here. It's saying that you're entering that portal of marriage or considering it, or of a strong commitment or something in marriage. So this energy could be a partner in a business as well as making that kind of a solid commitment. Or it could, likely with this energy coming in right now, it looks like it's probably very likely it could be a romantic partner that you want to marry, basically, ready to have, you're at that stage in life where you want to have a family and have children and maybe do that kind of energy. So this is talking about, basically you have the down payment for the castle, which is a huge accomplishment, but you still have to make the mortgage payments. It's talking like about the energy of, the question was popped and the person said yes. If it's you that, there's not a whole lot of information about, we have the emperor, the king, and the emperor. So, and remember, these could be females in their in masculine energy. Having said that, the Emperor is a very strong masculine, it's an alpha male energy, so quite often this one will be a male, but it's not unheard of for it to also be a female in a real masculine energy about moving forward in life and making decisions. So just take it however it resonates for you. And then we have the Hierophant coming in. So the Hierophant is representing the official that brings the judgment in from the Most High. And this is talking about bringing from the spiritual realm into the physical. And so this is, if you're a religious person, this could represent like the head of the church kind of energy. It would represent a pope, a cardinal, a bishop, that kind of energy, gurus, people that are in charge of that religion, basically. And then it could also be on a more spiritual level if that's, you're someone who likes to go straight to source and talk to God without an in-between. Then this is representing that going inward to, really feel what it is you want in your heart and be able to get the information through your intuition and then as well as your logic. And then we have also on the 3D, this represents that energy of law enforcement officials. So this could be like a Supreme Court judge kind of energy. It's someone higher up. This could be the chief of police, again, as we were talking about. This energy is talking about law and order, like the legalities of that, the court system, on Earth. And then we have the energy of the lovers. And so this is confirming that this energy is a lover that's coming in, and this is a blessing coming from the Most High. And your ancestors are cheering, yay! So this is good, and your maybe potential descendants are also cheering. Hi, mom. Hi, dad. That kind of energy. That's the energy I'm getting. It's a happy, like the sun is representing, the card. The sun is card number 19 in tarot, and that represents the happiest card in the deck. And of course, that's because the sun represents raw energy, the God, and this energy of God. And when the sun shows up in the reading, like this energy is saying, this is God's will. Like you're on your destined path. It's sitting right here on Temperance here. And the magician is also pointing to this energy and saying, look, this energy is, and he's pointing down here, so we don't know. But what he's saying is that this lover is this energetic upgrade that you're receiving from the Most High. So that's confirmation that it is a romantic relationship. And this is also saying the clouds in between. This is probably someone that you've never dated before for sure, but it could be someone that you know. So it's that energy. Be careful of that energy in retrograde season, because the energy in retrograde, a lot of times people will come up from our past and re-enter our lives when we haven't seen them for a long time, and it's usually because we have unfinished business. So it depends. It's totally up to you. But if someone's in your past, generally it means there's a reason for that, and so you might want to consider moving forward with new energy, especially these days right now. But that you would know better. You follow your intuition about that. We have the competition. So this energy is talking about immature competition. It's the only card in the tarot where there's these adolescents and they're arguing and with the wands here. So it's an energy of wanting to win at all costs kind of energy in an immature way. So this is my Mean Girls card. Think of narcissistic cheerleaders. They're watching the other team and they can clearly see that team deserves to win. They are better than us, but they don't care. They'll cause a fuss and do what they have to be able to win. I've got sirens going on in the background. I don't know if it's quite loud, but I have my noise canceling mic on, so you might not be able to hear it. But when the sirens come in while you're doing a reading, sometimes it talks about, okay, someone's riled up here. And so this is, as we mature, we begin to realize, regardless of if we're on a team or we're an individual, if we're in a sporting event or we're, vying for the same position in a company or for a part in a play or whatever this is, that this energy, we're really competing with ourselves. Because if you can, if you watch the competition and they're better than you and you can see that, watch the competition and see what they're doing. You can learn from the competition if you have the right attitude and say, oh, they definitely are doing that better than me, and watch them and see, hey, how can I learn? And maybe you can even ask them, how did you do that? Wow, it's amazing. I really would love to learn, who is your coach, that kind of energy. And quite often when competition is approached in that way, people are very open with being, more friendly about it. And so this energy is also talking about, you're really in competition with yourself, especially if it's a high pressure and you really want something and you really want to win. If you are able to keep your shift together and discipline your mind so that you don't get, all wrought up and then not be in a position to win because you're too nervous or whatever, then you're more likely to, do really well. And if you're on a team, you're going to contribute to the team in a really strong way and set a good example for the rest of the members. And so learning from the competition is a great, idea. And also, you can say to yourself, okay, every time I go out there and compete, I want to be 1% better than I was the last time. And, you know, that 1%, it adds up over time, right, to be quite substantial amount of energy. We have the Ace of Cups coming in. So this could represent that the person being sent into you is highly favorable, and there's a lot of competition for him, and the competition doesn't really want this person to be taken out of the playing field. That's the kind of energy I'm picking up. But this is handpicked for you by the divine, and it's talking about an overflowing love and about it being a peaceful calm. There's a dove here. And this is like an overflowing, like it just staying in the flow and not having to have a lot of concern in this relationship, of being really beneficial on the soul level as well as the physical, and having the passion also here. And at the same time, keeping you both empowering each other to stay on your divine path, what you came down to, your mission for coming down to earth here. And that we have justice coming in. So the justice is sitting here. She's sitting on her throne, and you can see she's got her right foot is peeking out from underneath her robe here. This is saying that she's ready to take action if necessary. As soon as she gets the word from the Hierophant, she will start doling out the karma. This is talking about karma, redemption from karma, and also justice on the physical level, like as I said, in a court of law, if that getting that moving into place. So she is wielding her sword of justice. It's a double-edged sword. So remember, you know, when justice comes in, if you've been on your path and you've been on the right side, then you're going to receive the benefits of that. And if you've been like, you know, doing silly things because you don't want to, you know, because you don't want other people to win, you're probably going to find that it's a little bit more harsh for you. And yeah, we have the High Priestess coming in. The High Priestess is a joyful card. It's because she sits next to the throne to God. And this is representing the energy of really, really highly intuitive ability, like really being able to use the intuition in a very strong way. This is talking about having the courage to move forward, to face these obstacles so that you can get to, you know, whatever the goal is in this journey, in this cycle that you're on. And this energy these two towers represent the energy between good and evil. This actually represents Jesus, and this represents the devil. So and the moon here is representing her ability to be intuitive, and she understands the cycles of the moon very well to be able to manifest using her intuition. And it's saying, you know, use your intuition. And then it also talks about the Nine of Cups coming in. And so the Nine of Cups is like everything, like that's, the Nine of Cups is one cup away from the ultimate cup. And if you add this cup to that cup, to these cups, then it's like, wow, you've got 10 cups. That's what you have that's the most you can have in the tarot. So this is talking about, you know, this card is saying you're very highly favored to have everything that you know, this ultimate fulfillment, like taking this again to the next level. But this is something that you're wishing for, and it may be something you've wished for since you were a young child. But this card is saying when you're wishing for something, it means you don't have it yet. So you have to stay focused. You have to stay in the game. And this is also talking about, like, this person appears to be on a stage here. And we don't know, are the cups like in the past behind him? Are they above his head right now? Or is this energy forward and he's back? So it's into the future. This energy is saying, stay focused, stay in the game. We can see his feet are turned out here. And that energy in body language says that he's leaking energy. And so you don't want, you want to stay focused right now, because many a race is lost in the last lap. This is a good time, you like maintain your focus, keep staying on your path, because you don't have this yet. And many a race is lost in the last lap. His upper body, he's making the sign, an infinity symbol. He reminds me of a genie. So this is again talking about this infinite potential above the magician's head. And so there's a lot of potential here, but you have to put your energy into it. Just like these cups, you see how the opportunities are sitting on these cups as well. And then we have the Five of Swords coming in. And so this is moving into your heart's desires. So sometimes this can talk about cutthroat energy and really having to fight others for what you want. But it can also talk about an inner struggle within the discipline of your mind. And, what I was talking about here. And so if you look at this as from the perspective that this is the same person, not other people, that's another perspective of this card. And this is talking about, instead of cutthroat energy, it could be, you could be facing competition that's cutthroat, but at the same time, you could be having an inner battle with yourself of how to discipline your mind so that you can be in this more powerful position. And so this can talk about your subconscious mind, which is formed by the time you're, around 6 or 7. And your subconscious mind is kind of really heavily imprinted on you because when you're a baby, you're like a sponge. You think about just in the first year alone what a baby learns to do. And we don't remember very much of our, about being a baby, and we don't remember, a whole lot until we're like maybe kindergarten age. So the subconscious mind is basically made up of the environment that you were in as a baby and up to like that 5 or 6 years old, and it's basically the thoughts of the people who were put in charge of your care. They are the ones that tell you, oh, you were like this when you were a baby, you did this, you did that, and you have pictures and videos, but you really don't have an actual remembrance of that time. And yet this is heavily imprinted. The subconscious mind, when we get triggered, that's the first one that comes to us. Oh, well, I'll do this, but it's not the most reliable. Then we have the unconscious mind, which are the needs of your soul. And many people will say, well, I'm a human being with a soul. But it would be more accurate to say that you are a soul traveling in a human body, and this is your vehicle for navigating planet Earth and to be able to experience all it has to offer. And then we also have the conscious mind, which is what he has a handle on. Like this is his own experiences, his own memories, what he, actually remembers from his own life, like his own thoughts and that kind of energy. And so if these three are plugged into your heart and they're congruent with each other, then you can really go after your authentic heart desires. And this is the line representing your heart desires. So having the courage to go after your heart's desires. And then we have this energy coming in of some information coming in from the Page of Swords now. So this sometimes, the Page of Swords represents, of course, the thought process. And this is talking about a breath of fresh air. He's also like the Page of Wands, very enthusiastic. And he's the only one, though, that he's not focused on his sword here. He's focused on, he knows what the thought is. He's looking in the opposite direction because he wants to follow his vision to see what kind of, he wants to think outside the box. Like how, if he uses both edges of this sword, his intuition as well as his logic, what kind of creative solutions can he come up with, that kind of energy. So this can be one of those aha moments coming to you, or it can be, again, like the communication coming from the Page of Wands. And so this is also, this reminds me of someone who's a golfer about to take a swing. And so this, golf is a very mental sport. And it talks a lot about that discipline of the mind. Like if you have a bad first hole and you end up throwing your club or whatever. And this is really important because I feel like a lot of people, that are in business and politics and that, they love to golf. And I feel like it's kind of, for one thing, of course, who wouldn't rather be out on a beautiful golf course than stuck in a meeting room? But it also allows another person to really observe how does a person handle being a winner and being a loser, and how do they handle the stress of the game, kind of. And if you do 18 holes with someone, I would imagine you can learn a lot about how they handle themselves in different situations. And we have the energy of the Hermit here. And so the Hermit is talking about when you are not sure of the direction that you want to go in, or you've had kind of a dark night of the soul where something has happened in your relationship where you're really disappointed. This is talking about the hermit going up to the top of the mountain and isolating himself so that he can confer with God and get back the energy from his North Star to get back on his destined path. So once this rod turns golden, then he's ready to move forward and take action and come down from the mountain to do so. And it's similar to the hangman energy. We also have this energy, like look at this, we have the Three of Cups sitting on this energy here. And so yes, I'm getting that this one or both of these lovers here in this, that are getting together here, these soulmates, are highly desirable, and there's a lot of competition for them. And this can represent the energy of a third party involvement in here, being happy that these lovers are moving on to be with each other, because then this person would be able to have your old mate. And you're like, okay, you can have them. That's the kind of energy. But like these three are celebrating something, and it's an event that they're celebrating. They're not celebrating each other. They're not looking at each other. And so this quite often could be one of the third party energy here, if there was that kind of energy. And this doesn't necessarily have to be romantic either. It could be like someone coming in business agreements or whatever, a third party involvement there that you weren't aware of. This is, talking also, the reason why this card, it can quite often for me represent gossip and slander and, this energy of like that kind of like, kind of a nasty energy at times, like wanting to win at all costs kind of energy like this, but taken to a different kind of level, more of a battle of words and, isolating people and leaving people out. Think about, what young girls in grade 4, that's a real tough age right there, where everybody's learning and they're just starting to begin their cycles. A lot of girls at that age, and they're not very good with handling their hormones, and they can be really mean. They can be really mean girls. And so in many cultures, if you toast someone and you don't look them in the eye, they consider that to be, they have a very strong suspicion that, especially in Europe, that if you don't look someone in the eye when you toast them, it causes 7 years bad luck in your romantic life. Now I'm just going to show you here. Look at the difference in this. You see how these two people are toasting each other. They are saying, hey, like I care about you. And that kind of energy. They're looking at each other in the eye. Whereas these people are looking at the cups, which is representing whatever the event or whatever is. So it's not necessarily a bad energy, but be aware that this is not like an intimate moment, kind of, oh, I'm so happy for you. This is more like something's happened and they're happy about that. And so we have the energy of the moon. And yeah, there could be some illusions around that for sure. This is when they tend to come out and about. And like they can, the gossip and the slander and the damage that does basically. And so this could be talking about some hidden energy, and maybe your ancestors, it could have, something to do with the judgments finally being called for this from way back when. And so this is talking about, again, wanting to stay on that path. But this lobster is got to climb out of the water here and get on that path. But he's thinking, okay, I got to get past this dog and this wolf. And they're both sitting there howling at the moon. And I got to stay in between these pillars. And, there's the sun and the moon, the full moon and the new moon here. And this is representing that eclipse energy that we've just been through at this time. If you want to know more about the eclipse energy, I do have a playlist with the new moon, full moon, and it has, I did a reading for each of the individual signs in the horoscope, because there's a lot of information around that I don't want to get into here, because it would be make this a very long reading. And so this energy is talking about, is your domestic, have you been too domestic or a little bit too much on the of a wild child? Keep that balance, as well as the balance in your masculine and your feminine energy, and also the balance in how much you're multitasking and that kind of energy. A good, strong, the best energy to be in right now is be as balanced as you can. there is information now coming in from the Knight of Swords. So the whatever was delivered here now, the information that came up here, this is representing an energy, okay, that you went up and you decided, okay, what you're going to do with this energy. You were understand now, because the truth came out about it, that this is the decision that you're making moving forward because of having that information come in. And this individual is running towards this energy right here and saying, oh my gosh, like these two people are getting together, and they're going to talk about this, and they're going to find out what was really going on, and da 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 da. It's a very, you can see he's very stressed out. With the fire horse energy, this is the worst possible energy you can be in the year of the fire horse that we just entered and will be in until February of 2027. So this is like, you don't want to be impulsive. You don't want to only have, like, he only has half the information. We can't see the whole sword, and we can't see the point. And so what is your point? And look at, he's got a red flag flying off the back of his head here. So this is like this energy of, not controlling the emotions and just rushing in, like a fool rushing in kind of energy. His horse is totally stressed out. You know, if you've ever been on a horse that runs and spooks, it can go a long way in the wrong direction. The horse is stressed out, and they're running against the wind through barren land. So this is saying, whatever happened here, this judgment is, I think, this person, this knight, is running from the judgment and towards this energy to say, you can't believe what's happening. Like in a million years, we didn't think this was going to happen. We thought we had gotten away with it, that kind of energy. So now we have the Nine of Pentacles coming in. And so the Nine of Pentacles is talking about having that understanding now of the give and take in life. And you know how we have the Emperor here and we have the King of Swords here? And I said this could be the same person working towards being an emperor. The person that they maybe have popped the question to, and this would be representing your energy, or you could be this energy, back and forth, that this is the pre-empress energy and dressed very much like the empress. So this energy here is talking about working towards being an emperor, and to match this energy that's working towards being an empress, and very close in both cases. And so this is talking about a ratio, basically, of the give and take in life. And if you've heard of Nikola Tesla, this card always reminds me of him, because he would say, if you knew the beauty of the 369, then you would have the key to the universe. And we have like this understanding, this energy. She understands. She's got her hand on 6 pentacles here, and she always keeps this ratio. These 3 behind her, this is what she keeps to make sure that she has enough to make sure she runs her own household, her businesses, that she has a slush fund in case something breaks down and something needs to be done. And then these 3 coins represent maybe a more risky investment and charity, and possibly like just a fund that she always has on hand in case family or someone, is in an emergency and needs something. And so the falcon here is representing the foresight to be in that position. This is talking about really cleaning up your environment. And right now we're moving in about the next week. We'll be in the energy of another new moon. And that new moon is going to be in the energy of Pisces, and the one that we just had on the full moon that we just had with the eclipse on the 3rd was about Virgo energy and getting your house in order, like you're getting your domestic life to support your business life, and vice versa. And that's very much this energy that we're seeing here. Being grateful for what you have and looking after it properly, and not having a lot of clutter around to clutter your mind, basically. And then we have, okay, so, and I feel that this, when you look at this card, it's really scary. It's like there's 3 swords in someone's heart. But remember what I said here about being in your heart's desires. In this case, I feel that this is talking about your subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind being plugged into your heart, and you're getting everything that you desire. And maybe in the past, this energy that's running towards this energy could be that one of these cups represents the problem that was in your previous relationship that caused you the heartbreak. But here, I feel it very definitely is saying it's sitting on this energy here of, it's both. It's talking about both the past and the present or the future. And so this is saying now that you're plugged into your authentic desires, that you're moving forward in a really strong way. And then we have, we have the energy of, putting the work in. And I feel like that's saying you've really put the work in. This card is representing actually making money. And so this is talking about, this is the only pentacle card in the deck where it's about making money. So they're actually working on the coin. And this is talking about, having you look at this like getting very close to the end of a project, because you've got the 6 coin here complete, and you're working on these other ones to be able to have this. And I feel while you were busy doing that, this energy, the reason why there was this judgment being called, I feel it has to do with some pentacles that you were working very hard on, or maybe your ancestors were. Like when we're talking about this kind of money here, we're talking about generational wealth. It's a lot of money. Like there's only 10 pentacles in the tarot. So we're talking about having 9 here, and this is a legacy that you can leave for your descendants. And this is what they're so excited, I feel, about the judgment coming in, because generally when people go to a lot of effort like this to sabotage it, follow the money. That's, and that's what, like, you look at this is at the top of the pentacle here, or at the top of the pyramid. And that's what we're seeing being played out right in front of us in the world right now, that kind of same energy. And at the very top here, we have the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands is sitting at the top there, and she's talking about creative solutions for problems, having the passion to carry through. She's got a sunny disposition. She's following the sun. That's saying this energy is on her destined path. And so this energy could be like the Queen of Wands is in this pre-Empress energy. And this is where, because this is the only 2 lists that we have seen on the more feminine energy that, and I feel like that definitely represents that this could be a King of Swords energy with that wants to get together with a Queen of Wands energy. So this is someone who uses their mind to do work, and this is someone who uses their intuition more to come to creative solutions. So you put those 2 together, then you're really going to have this energy, aren't you? You're going to have that perfect balance of empowering each other, having that both. Really, really cool energy. I really like how this played out. Going from the bottom here, this is talking about having the patience and the attitude to stay in your patience, to be able to move forward on your destined path and stay there. This new lover soulmate coming into after, and I feel like this is you and this other individual are both highly a lot of people wouldn't mind being with you or them. And this is talking about maybe gossip and slander about what's happened in the past in relationship. We have the illusions are coming out now. If you use your intuition, working really hard towards making money. And sometimes, this can represent actually making, on the other end, making money in an illegal way by maybe that could be this energy, what this information coming in is, we've been caught kind of energy. And then, so this is the sunny disposition comes from being in that place where you're using your intuition and your logic, you're with your soulmate, you're approaching Empress energy with an Emperor, someone who's approaching Emperor energy. This is, who is an Emperor already, actually. And then this is talking about, having your mind really disciplined and plugged into your heart's desires, especially together, how powerful that is. And then putting that energy together. and then having all your wishes come true, and no more disappointment in love. That's a thing of the past, and being able to move forward with a lot of exuberance and passion in your life. I really like this reading. We could all use a little bit of this. If this is enough information for you, thank you for your time and energy. Please give it a like and comment if you resonate with the energy, and consider subscribing if the channel energy resonates with you. You're more than welcome. And I'm going to, for those of you who would like to have a little more clarity, I'm going to use my Oracle Tales from the Vector, TAILS. And I do have a website. I've been working on this since 2007, and I've completed all the paintings at the end of 2020, but now what I'm working on is the information that goes with it. And so I'm playing with these cards. The cards that I have here have the numbers of the paintings as they're listed on my website in the gallery. So if you want, you can go there and check them out. It might give you a further clarity. And I will list in the description box below the order that they appear here, so that you know which ones to look up. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, so let's see what's going on here. Yes, they're saying there's definitely a transition in energy here with this judgment coming in. It's going to be a different energy, and this is talking about the Hierophant coming in. So we have the Hierophant here twice. So this is saying, yes, this is the Hierophant is bringing in blessings for you because you have stayed on your path. And then we have surrender. And so, yeah, sometimes this energy is talking about, surrendering your problems to God, and, climbing like the hermit, going up to the mountain and, going inward to find, hey, God, can you help me out here? I don't really know what to do. And just quieting your mind so that you can use your intuition to get to that. And this also can represent your ancestors coming in and saying, when it's cold in here, there must be something in the atmosphere. It could be your ancestors trying to connect with you. Sometimes when that spirit energy enters our environment, it can feel like a little bit of a cold breeze coming in. And we have the moon, which is representing reckless abandon. We do have a new moon coming up on the 18th here. So that energy, that new moon energy is going to be significant in some way, I feel. And this is the reckless abandon, WRECK, is just representing having this discipline of your mind, which then gives you freedom to walk a little bit on your wild side, instead of being too domestic, taking a few chances here and there. Excuse me. And then we have scotoma. So this is talking about, scotoma is when you have a bit of a blind spot. So it's when other people can see something and you can't see it, or you can see something and no one else can see it. So I feel like this energy is that the perfect balance between your soulmate and you, especially if it's this energy where, there's this real high mental intelligence, and then there's this high intuitive ability, and that is put together, that it brings in both ends of the spectrum and really allows it to come in. Pride is a karmic space, so a lot of times, what do they say? Pride before the fall. So this is talking about an energy of here, of not being like, not wanting to face the truth maybe about a situation, because it would hurt your pride as well as your feelings, basically. This is the indifference people can have. People will say we're all in it together, but you'd be surprised how cruel people can actually be and how indifferent they can become. It's a karmic space that some people get into. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune turning. So this is talking about synchronicities and this energy all coming together. Pay attention to your intuition, because that's how the universe communicates with us, is through synchronicity. And then we have, your life was disrupted, and this is coming up on this Hierophant energy and the Justice. So this might even be coming in all the way from your ancestors. But definitely I feel you're disappointed in love for some reason. And it could have been, this energy here is definitely sneaky energy. So yeah, what's fun for some is not fun for everyone. And then we have destruction. So sometimes this energy is talking like this jealousy, you know, of the competition and the gossip, and like people who have a lot of energy to get shift done, and their conversations generally are about projects and moving forward and that kind of energy. And people who are bored and don't have that kind of energy tend to talk about other people that do have it. So I feel the tower is coming in for this energy here, and that's where the judgment's being called. And I feel like it might be something that you don't even, it could be something that you don't know about, but your ancestors been waiting for this judgment to come in. And then we have the temperance saying they've been waiting a long time. That's saying, yay, we're finally getting the judgment is coming through, and you're probably some information's going to come in. And I feel like this energy that they're running from, that the judgment that this knight is running from, to give to these people, the tower is going to hit. They're not going to avoid it. And this energy is going to be what is beneficial for you. We have the battle star energy. So that's talking, you might have been in a battle with people and you didn't even know it. You were too busy battling with your inner self and trying to improve it so you could get to this point here. You were busy meditating and working on being going inward, conferring with God. What should I do? And they thought they were competing with you, and you didn't even know you were in a competition. They never told you. It's kind of funny, actually. So this is talking about father figures turning princes into frogs. Yeah, sometimes it's just a funny energy of, this could be that energy of turning something that's a really good thing into something that's not. And a lot of times father figures, like if especially for feminine energy, if they had like their father was their hero, daddy's little girl energy, that can be really hard to find someone that measures up to their dad, basically. Like it can be a real problem in love life, right? Is that energy. And also on the other spectrum, like for young men, the energy of your father, of the same-sex parent, is really substantial. So depending on the type of father you had, gives you the gives you the information you need to be in a real strong place in your energy, like of being a man and being a father and all that. And then we do have the Empress energy at the top here. So it's saying that the energy here does make it to the Empress energy to match the energy of the Emperor. So this has been a pretty funny reading. I've enjoyed it. I do hope you also have. Give it a like and comment if you have. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'd be honored if you did so. And bye for now. I will have another daily reading for you again tomorrow.